And good morning. It is Monday all over again, October the 13th. We're that close to being midway through the month. My, oh my, what a year that has flown by. We've got Halloween coming up. We are getting tons and tons of flyers in. Make sure to get us yours if you've got a, I guess you could call it a festival of sort. If you've got a trunk or treat, whatever the case is, or you've got something going on at your church, please let us know so we can put that out. This is about kids, period. About kids getting taken care of with candy and things like that. That's what we celebrate. It's going to be a fun one there. I hope you'll get those to us. Already, as we said, Monday as we begin this, and it's weird outside. Odie, did you notice that 51-degree weather?
A little nip, it feels good out there.
Just a tad more, and we could hear that number 4 for some reason. It feels good. We'll get to about 85 today. It's gonna increase there, but 85 is not bad. We won't complain about that. We are getting a lot of word from deer hunters going, where's the rain? It's kind of like, where's the beef? Yeah. Where's the rain? I've got my seed waiting, ready to plant. Some of you have already gone through with that. And the bad news is, I don't know a lot coming. We'll check that forecast here in just a little while. Let's go to Collinsville now, get our good message for the day. See what's going on there. Collinsville First Baptist.
Have you ever heard the ancient story from Genesis 11 about the Tower of Babel? Now that's where, after mankind had refilled the earth after the flood, they gathered with one language and one ambition. Let's make a name for ourselves. They wanted to build a tower that reached the heavens. And their tower was not simply a building project. It was an act of pride, a refusal to scatter as God commanded. And it was an attempt to replace God's glory with their own. And in response, the Lord came down. He confused their languages. Families could no longer understand other families. And that drove them to scatter across the earth. Now, this true story reminds us of two timeless truths. First, y'all, human pride always leads to division and downfall. When we make it about ourselves, life about our name, our reputation, our security apart from God, we eventually collapse under the weight of our own arrogance. Second, God is sovereign and will not let rebellion go unchecked, right? He loves us enough to disrupt our plans when they lead away from Him. And so thank God this is true. But don't miss the grace of God here in the story of Babel. Even in scattering, God was fulfilling His original command to fill the earth. And what looked like judgment was also grace. It was setting the stage for nations one day to be united in Christ. Now we see this burst forth at Pentecost when the confused languages of Babel were reversed. That day, all the speakers of many languages by the power of the Spirit heard the gospel preached in their native tongue. The evangelists, instead of building a name for themselves, were building the name of Jesus. And you and I, every time we share the good news, the gospel, we exalt the name of Christ above every other name. So let me ask you a question. Whose name are you building? Yours or His? Go preach the name of Jesus. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that message. Oh, I see Miss Fanny's up from Lake this morning. Leslie Carina is bringing in Louisville, Mississippi. Charlotte's up in Philadelphia. Places all over there. Rick, good morning. Chris, glad to see y'all. As we begin this day, we'll get into our forecast here in just a moment to let you know what's going on. Let's look at a few of the things that are happening around the world, shaping America this morning. Penn State. Any football fans of theirs? They fired their head coach after 12 seasons. He'll be looking for a new job. No word yet who's going to be the head coach. As we get, do you remember Texas, Uvalde, where all the kids were killed? They have officially finished and opened up the new elementary school. 3 years, and a new school is finally open. And I understand why they closed the old one and destroyed that. A lot of hurt there. It is gone. They have a new school now. Headline of the day. All hostages have been released at this point and returned to Israel. 20 of them still alive. Now, the word that we're getting now that some of the bodies of those who were missing, they have no clue where they are. But the 20 living have been returned. President Trump is there. This is a great day as peace is finally made. They're signing all the things. He's addressing Israel. I don't know a lot of people when it comes to politics of turning point. And I knew Charlie Kirk, but there's a lot of people out there that speak, and I have no idea who they are. You ever heard of Benny Johnson? Anybody up on this? Of what come out of this weekend? Apparently he has something to do with Turning Point. He's a speaker. They have arrested a 69-year-old man for sending him a threatening letter, basically saying he wanted to do to him what happened to Charlie because of his political beliefs. 69 years old, has been arrested, and he wanted to make sure his family saw him get hurt. What an awful thing. No matter what side of the political realm, if you believe in Christ or not, we have people that want to bring harm. Some follow through on their threats, and that's why the FBI has to take these things serious. Now, this is a case of he said, she said. Now, if you are familiar with Tom Homan, he's a strong-spoken man. Apparently, there's a controversy that MSNBC and ABC had put out that there's a tape of him accepting a bribe for, I don't know, was it $50,000, $500,000? J.D. Vance says it does not exist. ABC cut the interview this weekend when he was questioned about this. As he went to explain, they cut and went to commercial to get away from it. J.D. Vance arguing because he knows the tape does not exist is what we're being told. Is it wrong? I don't have the correct answer for this. I don't have the insight to who's what and what the FBI really has. But we're told by those in power that it does not exist, and this is another one of those made-up stories. We'll see as this develops over it. But it was a very heated conversation before they cut and got away from J.D. South Carolina, as we look at this morning, kids. Now, I can remember going to the Lauderdale County Health Department and getting a shot to be able to go to school. I can remember being scared to death over it. I didn't know what all that was about. I seriously remember sitting in that little waiting room and they popping something in my arm. And it was all about measles and making sure you had all your shots. And I think, what is it, one of those, is that the dot if you were born in the late 60s, early 70s, that you got all those little dots on your arm?
Yeah, the measles.
The measles. I got that on one of these arms. It's a lot of little dots, and I'm not sure if that's the same thing or not. But they've got over 150 kids that are unvaccinated because they're scared of measles. They're quarantined. Did people quit taking the measles shot?
I think so.
I mean, that's a serious one there, is it not? That's one of those you don't want to miss, I don't think.
Oh, they do now.
But I don't know what's required to go to school. I know there's a lot of anti-vaxxers, as they call it.
Yeah.
But now again, the COVID thing I get. Let's not forget the safety of kids for something that's been tried into. Measles is pretty serious there, like polio is. Very, very serious thing. I'm not going to wade off into this. I'm going to give the facts of what I know. And I know very little when it comes to the Pope and what he does and what he believes and what he doesn't believe. We do know this. This is the headline of this morning. The Vatican has given Muslims a prayer carpet and a prayer room at the Vatican Library. Muslims can now comfortably do what they do there. Now, you've got to remember, and I looked this up to be sure, because I don't know a lot about Muslims either. But they do not believe that Jesus is the Son of God. Basically, is what it is. And now they've got carpet, just so you'll know what's going on at the Vatican. He's still got a fence up, and they don't believe in fences or borders. What was it that Reagan said? Tear down that wall.
Mr. Gorbachev.
Yeah, Mr. Gorbachev.
Tear down that wall.
Pope Leo, tear down that wall. Just the facts. That's all we know about that. I don't know enough to wade off into that, but something to think on. Here's something: American truckers are starting to get a raise. Anyone want to know why? illegal truck drivers are coming off the road and they need real truck drivers. Get out of here.
Whoop, whoop.
Say it ain't so, Odie.
Yeah.
We may see some cowboy boots instead of flip-flops before it's all said and done. You know they drive that way. You've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
There is, and let's be serious about it. A flip-flop, you cannot get to a brake pedal in time. That just is not what you need to drive with. I don't care if it's your personal one. It's still, you can get your foot hung. Definitely an 18-wheeler there. And we want to put out a memo, Odie. Memo. Today is Columbus Day. It's not any of those other made-up days. Today is Columbus Day. Now, did Columbus have some issues? He may have. He may have been a drinker. He may have gambled. I don't know. But he's given credit for founding America and the way it is at this point. Just thought we'd let you know. I did see a funny today. When he arrived, he went up and asked for free health care and wanted a free cell phone as soon as he arrived here. He wasn't given that.
And a check. Can I have a check?
They didn't have a check or any of that for him. That was 530 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. 533 years ago. That's been a spell. But again, let me remind you, Columbus Day. Hello, Columbus, Ohio. They picked out. It's just, and I think Trump is trying to get this all straightened out to where it is Columbus Day, not whatever it is that they call it. We saw a picture earlier there. He's been presented with a golden dove from Netanyahu. Here's a picture of the president and them.
A golden duck?
Dove.
Oh.
D-O-V-E.
Okay.
I sometimes slur. I'm sorry about that. But today this is really, I don't know if everybody realizes just how big this is. Peace with Israel. And that's a mess over there. Next, we need to work on what's happening there with Russia. Let's hope that gets settled. This was brought up to me a few weeks ago. How many speeches have we watched in Meridian over the last, say, year? I can remember Jimmy Smith trying to run first to take claim for the data center coming to Meridian. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
It wasn't just Meridian. It was a whole bunch of people that made this happen, power companies. But there are a lot of towns across America that are going, we don't want it. Back away from us. Because of two things. Water. A lot of these things use water to cool, so it's cutting back on their water. And in the long run, guess what's going to happen? You got any idea? Power bills are going to go up. Is what we're being told by this. Now, do I have that in writing for our area? I do not. But I'm telling you what is being said across America, and people are double checking this. We had one town, and I'm trying to remember, it was in Michigan, that said no one. They got sued by the people that wanted to put it there and the people that wanted to sell their land there. As the town tried to fight it, they didn't have enough money and ended up giving in. I don't know. We're going to get a lot of taxes out of it. But little do you know, your power bill will probably ease up with this. I can probably say that is true. Do I have it in writing? No. Do you remember in Miami? I remember this as a kid. I'm not sure that we ever got to go there, but where they held this aquarium, where they held the dolphins and the whales, and you could go down there. Ace Ventura was filmed there. A lot of different films were filmed there at that location there. Let's see. Flipper was even filmed there. It's closing. They've had the PETA people after them for years, and they've just given up. Somebody else has taken over. Now, did a couple of whales die there over the last few years? Yes. Do I know why? I'm not a whale expert. I don't know anything about marine life. Just to let you know there. We're going to get into a subject here that some Americans don't agree with, and most of the people that watch us, I believe in when it comes to someone that took a life, being put to death for this. I believe that most that watch this, not everybody, believes in it. If you remember, Biden spared 37 killers, and they were death row killers at the last minute. I don't think any of them have been released. Trump put a stop to that, and what I'm understanding is they're making it pretty tough on them before whatever becomes of it. In places where you sit for 23 hours, some of the families are saying that's not even good enough. They shouldn't have a window to where they could see daylight. They took lives. As we look at this is, what state is this? South Carolina. 1983. Fred Singleton, who is 81, passed away in prison. In 1983, he raped and strangled a woman in Newberry County, took her jewelry, and left. His fingerprints were all on the window inside the home. When they found him, he had all of her jewelry. 42 years, he said, on death row. He died of natural causes in jail. Nothing was done. Now, Florida has set an execution date. Boy, look at this. 1979 is when this happened. The guy is going to meet his maker for a 1979 for raping and murdering a 6-year-old little girl. He's had his life. That's a long time ago. They've set this, and it's coming. November is when it will happen. Ron DeSantis is making good on what he promised there. And again, as I said when I started this subject, there's some that will agree with it and some who don't. As I look at other judges, and it makes you wonder, who makes our judges accountable for what they do? There are times that I question that no one does. Here's an example. I'm going to list you about 2 or 3 people here. A guy named, and I'm not going to be able to pronounce his last name correctly. I'll do my best at it. His name is David Marzingo. He's been arrested 33 times. He killed someone also. DeClorius Brown. He's been arrested 14 times. He murdered someone named Iran Zariska. Alexander Dickey, arrested 39 times. He also killed someone. Here's another guy named Timothy Bowler. He's been arrested 45 times. He killed someone. Who holds the judges accountable for what they do of turning people out that bring harm to the general public? Now, let's be honest about it. There are people that are amongst us that don't need to walk among us, that they cannot fit into society. Not a law-abiding society. I don't have the answer to that. We have someone, it was a Marine veteran who threatened to shoot up a Texas high school and a zoo. He's been arrested after a car chase in Texas. They put him in jail. Do you ever heard of a group named Moody Blue?
Yeah.
I have never heard of them. Maybe a lot of you do know who the group Moody Blue is. But John Lodge, he was a singer for them, has passed away at the age of 82, if you're familiar with that group. And I just don't know him there. There is an answer, and I'll have to say I'm going to turn to this. Come Super Bowl. Doesn't that happen during February?
Something like that.
The beginning of February, I think, is when the Super Bowl happens. Turning Point USA has announced a halftime show that will air the exact same time as the Super Bowl. I think I'll watch Turning Point. That's up to you, but that is coming. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't, but it's everywhere. Helicopter. Have you seen this that was landing in California? Went haywire, went around. Now, everybody made it. Some are in critical condition, but all 5 were transported for injuries. A miracle. Helicopters, when they come down, they don't have soft landings. I'm not telling you anything that you don't know. For the first time, and I think they said 20 years at least, the Parthenon, Greece, has no scaffolding on it. You can now sit at it. They've finished the projects they were doing, trying to restore it to keep it from crumbling. Photographs can now be taken without that scaffolding for the first time in years. Can you believe that? We'll be right back. We're going to get into that weather forecast next to let you know how this day is shaping up. Time is flying. Already 6:50, if y'all can believe that. We'll be right back with your forecast.
When your AC goes out, your sink leaks, or your breakers are tripping, you need help fast from someone you can trust. That's why we work hard to have the fastest service times and the most knowledgeable technicians in Central Mississippi. Our promise to you, at your door in under 24. So don't wait days for others to show up. Call Environment Masters for hassle-free plumbing, electrical, and AC. At your door in under 24, because it's not cool to make you wait.
The Scotty Ray Report studio is sponsored by Environment Masters, providing hassle-free heating and cooling, plumbing, and electrical services since 1957, and now serving Meridian homeowners.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA.
And welcome back. Let's get into our forecast this morning as we get into our record highs and record lows this morning. As we go back to all the way to 1963. High of 93 today. Whew. Our coldest was in 1917. It was 33 degrees today. Kind of chilly, wasn't it? Yeah, not quite that way at this point. What are our highs expected today? Here's what we're looking at today as we go across the state of Mississippi. We'll see that Meridian is holding a high of about 86 according to the National Weather Service. We'll see 84 there in Philadelphia. A little chillier there, isn't it? 82 in Oxford. We'll see that in Tupelo. Look at that as we get up to around Corinth, 80 degrees. We'll see 83 rather, there in Gulfport today. So not a bad day as we look across the state of Mississippi. Nighttime lows tonight should be somewhere around 56 is what we're expecting so far. Let's see what else we've got this morning when it comes to our weather. Let's get into Alabama as we come across. We should see nice weather there. 85 in Demopolis, 85 in Tuscaloosa, and 82 in Birmingham. Hamilton should see 81, and to the south, Montgomery, still about 85 is what we'll see. As we look at this, still warmer weather here. Not as bad as what we were seeing last week. Starting to chill, but still above average temperature for us here in Mississippi. Cooler weather back into California as it makes its way toward Nevada. Now, our next 7 days, let's take a look at what we have here. 85 today. We'll see the same thing tomorrow, really through Wednesday. Warming up on Thursday to about 88, and as we get into Friday, temperatures steady at 86, but we do have a smidgen of a chance for you deer hunters. Y'all looking at this? A 20% chance of rain on Saturday, 30% chance on Sunday. It's worth the gamble. We're too far into October if you hadn't already planned to go ahead and get that done. But Saturday and Sunday, slight chances of rain of 20 and 30%. As we move forward from that, we'll have to wait until the 24th, and that's really pushing November for you to do that. 40% chance of rain next Friday and Saturday. So another week on that if you want to hold out and hang around for that. After that rain moves in, we'll start to see some 70-degree weather. 77, 78, that's not bad at all. But several days there of about a 40% chance. We can't guarantee weather, though, rain. That's your biggest chance. Good luck to you. As we head to our best fishing times today, we'll go out to Clarkdale Superette. Major time is going on right now. Started at 5:53, about right now. Through about 8 o'clock this morning. It should be great fishing. Again, it'll be 6:13 this afternoon. That's right there at dark 30. Right at dark is a great fishing time. And then we got a minor chance today around 1 o'clock. Sunrise happened at 6:57. That'll be in about 4 minutes from now. Sunset will hit about 6:23 this afternoon. What about our deer hunters? It's an average day is the best we're getting on this. The wind's going to be light north-northeast wind, becoming 5 to 10 by this afternoon. Now, your major times to hunt today began at 5:42. Is good to about 7:42 today. And again, that afternoon, it'll be just about dark. But right there at dusk dark should be a great time also. We have a minor chance to hunt between 1:40 and 2:40 this afternoon. Let's call it 1 to 3. Sunrise again, 6:57. That sunset at 6:23. Brought to you by our friends out at Wimberley Taxidermy. Good luck to all you deer hunters. Getting near opening gun season. As we take a look at AL-97, this thing is an 80% chance of developing. And we'll look at radar here in just a moment there, but it's turning also away from the state, staying in the Atlantic. That's good news. It should stay away from us. Now let's go back to radar and take a look at what we've got on live radar this morning. And I got to get to it, don't I? That's the way it works. Let's pull up radar now as we go to Doc's Toyota radar. Mississippi all clear. Not much going on there at all in any shape, form, or way. We do have some fog popping up around Birmingham, if you'll see this, up near Huntsville, up in Chattanooga, those areas there. Franklin, Tennessee. We even got a little bit around Murfreesboro this morning, and the further you get up near Kentucky, the heavier it gets there with that fog there. Be careful. Asheville, North Carolina. As we look here, nothing going on in the Gulf of America. It looks good there. A few showers around Key West this morning, and as we go out to the Atlantic there, that's where that thing's going to be developing and turning that way. Let's turn on and see if we get any spaghetti models at this point. We do. There's our spaghetti models, and most of these have this turning away from anywhere on the East Coast. That's good. So that's what we're celebrating this morning. That's a quick look at weather and what we're expecting. Right now, we're sitting at 51, 85 for the high if you need a dress. So a light jacket early, and then it'll warm up. It'll get you warm before it's all said and done. Already 6:56. We'll be right back as we'll go live with the morning show in a moment here at the Scotty Ray Report.